Content warning. This podcast contains discussion of injury, blood, and open wounds.
Conflicted Chaos with Rylee
and Emma.
Good morning and welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you.
Spent all night listening to Taylor's version of 1989 since the day we are recording this is the day it came out.
It was beautiful.
I think my favorite song on 1989 is Welcome to New York.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Mine kind of varies. I like a little Out of the Woods.
I like Out of the Woods too.
Out of the Woods is good. She's got
like,
the
Style.
vault songs.
Have you listened to them? I haven't listened.
I've listened to them all multiple times. That's all morning, all night.
She's releasing Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar on the deluxe version.
It's out now.
It's out now?
Yep.
I'm excited.
Because she was so happy when the crowd was going,
yeah.
You forgive, you forget, but you never let it go.
Well, two Swifties in the studio today. Well, without further ado, welcome back to Conflicted Chaos. I think we should start with a little update on Rylee's wrist situation here, or finger situation.
Thumb situation. Yeah, I got my surgery. I was awake for it.
Yeah.
They numbed it. It was something I do not recommend, being awake for a surgery.
She was Snapchatting me during the surgery.
The doctor actually asked me once he repaired the tendon if I wanted to look at it while my hand was wide open and admire the work that he did. I declined.
No, I think I would have passed out. I don't know how you did it being awake. I think I
they lost the tendon at one point, and I felt it snap down my arm, and they were like, "Oh no!"
Ew, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it wasn't a good experience, but I've survived.
Now.
I got like a plastered cast now. I got my 13 for Taylor.
Swift.
Yeah,
there we go. Do you still have to keep it above your?
I still am
heart?
supposed to keep it above my heart.
Yeah, well, we were in class yesterday, and she was answering all the questions because her hand was always. Well, today's episode is high school. Rylee and I don't think we would have been friends in high school.
No, definitely not.
Rylee and I were very different. I think Rylee would have thought I was a geeky band nerd, and I think I would have been scared of Rylee for being so popular.
I wasn't that popular.
But you were, like, more popular than most.
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, valedictorian.
I was a valedictorian. We'll get into that.
So you played on all the sports teams, yeah?
I played on all the sports teams, yeah. I played volleyball, basketball, field hockey. What else did we have? I tried to create my own all-girls ball hockey team.
Didn't work out?
The school refused. Like, the lady that was in charge of the guys' ball hockey team, she refused and told me that the girls can just play with the guys. But the guys didn't want us to play with them, and we didn't want to play with them. So I had organized. I had a full team, full roster. I was coaching.
Let it go through with it.
And she wouldn't take it to.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of had the same situation in our high school. So I was on the girls hockey team. That was the only team I played for in high school. But the boys team was an actual league, and then the girls team was a tournament team. So basically, we just played 3 or 4 tournaments throughout the season. That was it. And there was one tournament where I think there was a mishap where our coach told our principal that it was only supposed to be one day. Like, we were only supposed to be away from school for one day, but it actually turned out to be 2 days. And the tournament almost got canceled. We weren't almost allowed to go because there was one extra day that we'd be missing of school. And we were like, the boys miss half a day of school every other week or whatever it is to go play in the league. And we can't miss 2 days in the entire year. Makes no sense.
No.
So we had like a meeting with our principal, and there was emails from our parents, like our moms and stuff, emailing the principal, being like why aren't they allowed to miss another day of school? Like, this isn't
So
fair.
Did you guys get to play it?
We did.
Oh, that's good.
We won. Like, we had a whole meeting. We had to go back into the office, into this like boardroom with our principal and our coach, and like discuss the whole thing. Like, it was a pain. But we won. I don't understand why it was such a big deal, but anyways,
on to the next.
I was a band nerd, but I love band. It was the best time of my life. Seriously, I'm not just saying that to be funny. I had so much fun in band.
What'd you guys do?
Well, okay, so I was in concert band, which I played the clarinet for 2 years, and then I switched to the bass clarinet, and the bass clarinet was my dream since grade 9, to play the bass clarinet. It was so much fun. So concert band, we did like seasonal concerts. We did band practices, and then we did trips too, which was my favorite part. So grade 9, we did Whistler. We went to Whistler.
Hey, I've been there.
Yeah, well, that's where you're. Maybe I ran into you.
Maybe you were performing while I was out and around.
And then grade 10, we went to Memphis. We drove down to Memphis. We went to Graceland, visited Elvis Presley's house, and then we went down to New Orleans. And we spent 3 or 4 days in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the band trips were the best part.
Was your band good?
Yeah, like, we were pretty good. Like, we learned pretty fast how to play. I mean, looking back at some of the recordings, it definitely was a bit of a jump scare. But
did you, like, go against other schools?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was, like, a competition?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Whistler was a competition. Whistler was a music fest or something like that. New Orleans, however, there was no... We just went to, like, experience New Orleans and jazz music in New Orleans.
So you didn't play there?
No. The jazz band played in New Orleans at...
they wouldn't let you guys play there?
Well, there was nothing, like, going on. There was no competition or anything happening the week we were going. But the jazz band played at one of the restaurants we ate at in Memphis. Oh. But that was it. That was just sort of like a... Oh, sorry, no. They played at a retirement home in New Orleans.
You guys got to go to a retirement home?
We did. In New Orleans, we went to a retirement home, and the jazz band played at a retirement home. Yeah. I think that's what happened, yeah.
That sounds like a hoot.
I think that was the first day we were in New Orleans, too. Fun fact about New Orleans, we went to this huge jazz fest in New Orleans, and it was like the hottest day we were there, and I got heat stroke, and it was not very fun.
Did you throw up?
I did, into a garbage can. And the security came over.
Made sure you were okay.
Made sure I was okay, but then I was fine. So.
Dramatic.
Yeah,
very dramatic.
Shout out to my friends who helped me out there. Y'all know who you are.
I wouldn't have helped you.
You wouldn't have.
I would have let you suffer. I would have asked if we had to stay in the same room to be moved.
Well, I met my one best friend in Whistler on our trip because we were just placed into a room together. Like, it just so happened.
Was she scared of you?
No, I hope not.
Oh.
I'll ask her.
Yuki.
She was scared of me. But yeah, we were just placed into a room together, and now we're best friends. So.
Wow.
I met my best friends in band. Like, that's how we met. So, thankful for that.
Yeah, most of like my friends in high school, they were all on the sports teams. That's where I met basically all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Between the sports.
And being valedictorian.
Oh, yeah.
So Rylee and I also have different experiences in high school because of COVID.
Yeah, I graduated 6 years before Emma.
She's an old woman, and I'm not.
Wait, not 6 years, 4 years.
4 years. You're 24.
4 years.
20.
Yeah.
So
I thought 6 years since I've been to high school.
Rylee kind of relates though because she went to school before this.
Yeah, I did a radio program at BCIT, and that was during COVID, so
she sort of understands.
I understand Emma's pain.
Yeah, so COVID happened for me in grade 11, and it was the March of my grade 11 year. That was March 2020, when the world basically was ending. Everyone thought the world was ending, and so the rest of my grade 11 year, we were all online. And I remember that semester I had all of my fun classes that I was looking forward to, like communications technology, music and computers, like band, and it was all online, and it was horrible. And then we sort of thought by grade 12 it would be over and done with, like we'd have a normal grade 12 year.
But that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case. And grade 12 was just a mess. Like, it was online, and then it was in person. It was online, it was in person. We had quadmesters. So instead of semesters, we had 4 quadmesters.
It was broken up into 4?
Into 4. And so basically the whole day, we'd have one class.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it was...
So, like, from, like, 8:30 to 2:30?
Yeah, it was basically like we were back in elementary school. Actually, I think it was... Maybe it was, like, half the day. I think half the day was one class, and then we had lunch, and then we went to the other class, or it was one full day of the
So for, like, 2 months, that's what it was.
Yeah,
you had the same class,
yeah,
and then...
so it was 2 classes
that's
for
awful.
a quarter of the year, yeah.
Especially if you hated that teacher.
Well, we were with them the whole day.
Yeah.
And for lunch those days, we either had to eat in our classrooms. So usually we would all eat by our lockers. We'd all sit in the hallway and eat by our lockers with our friends. But during COVID, we weren't allowed to do that anymore, or like no one was allowed to eat in the caf. Not that anybody ate in the caf anyways. But we either had to eat in the classroom, or we could go out.
Did your calf had good food?
I never really ate there, so I can't really say. But we used to have like the big cookies. Did you ever have those at your school?
We had cookies. Ours actually was a
ones?
culinary program.
Oh yeah.
So we had like.
Yeah, we did. We had a culinary.
It wasn't the best
class.
food. But they would serve like dinner to the oldies at nighttime.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
And this was we could either eat in our class or we could go out and get our lunch. And this was around the time that everyone was getting their driver's license in my year. So me and my friends
license last year.
Last week. We would just go sit in our cars and like I think we would take turns driving around because there was nothing else to do. Like we weren't going to sit in our class and have lunch, especially if you didn't have any friends in the class. So we would just eat in our cars. Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
It did suck.
I didn't have that experience.
No, you didn't. Where did you eat for lunch? Did you eat?
We usually ate by our lockers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was usually. But my mom would come and get us on Tuesdays. One Tuesday, we'd pick a Tuesday in the month, and she'd pick up me and my friends, and we'd go home, and she'd make us lunch.
That's so nice.
Yeah, that was But other than that, we usually ate at the lockers, or we'd like some of us would go out. Like once people started getting their licenses, because we start. I think grade 11, the end of grade 11 was when I had mine and I had a car. And then my other friend had a car too. So then it would be like some people would be like, "Oh, do you want to go to
that was
Starbucks?
Another thing that COVID messed up was driver's license. The test center was so backed up. If I remember correctly, Collingwood wasn't even doing in-car tests at this time because so many people so many staff had left and not come back. So it was so backed up all over Ontario. Like I booked my G2 6 months in advance and same with my friends because there literally was not any sooner dates.
Is that when your G2? Is that when you get to not have someone else in the car with you?
Yeah. So me and my friends got our G2 end of October, beginning of November of grade 12.
Did you pass the first time or did you fail?
I did pass the first time. And then my G, I passed the first time too.
What's a G?
It's like, so basically in Ontario, we go from G1, which is a learner's permit. So we have to have someone in the car with us. G2 is when you don't have to have someone in the car with you, but there's still a few restrictions. I forget what they are. But then G is like your full full license.
We have L, N, and then your full license.
Okay.
So like your learner's and then
permit.
And then you're a new driver, so that's like when you can have like one other person in the car or drive alone, and then like you're full.
So N is what you had in high school?
N is what I had in high school, yeah.
Do you have your...
I have my full.
You have your full license now?
Yes. I got that like the day I could get.
Yeah.
Because I did lessons too. So I got 6 months taken off of my N.
I did lessons.
So I only had to do a year and a half.
Thinking of it now, I did my driver's ed, the in-class part was right when COVID started, but our teacher had just sort of let it slide and let us finish it up. Like,
wait, you did it in school?
No, it was like an external thing.
Okay.
So it was,
yeah,
I did it
too.
2 weekends. So it was like Saturday and Sunday all day, and then it was the next weekend, and it was Saturday and Sunday all day. But this was like, I think the last weekend was like the 19th and the 20th of March, which was when COVID was sort of, this is when the schools were shut down, whatever. But our teacher just let it slide.
Oh, perfect.
Thank God, because I would have taken much longer to get my license.
Are you a good driver, do you think?
Like, yeah. I mean, I definitely have to go home and remember
how to
things,
drive.
just because I don't drive in the city at all. I guess it's sort of the same for you. Just it's like riding a bike though for me. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
I go home.
I don't like driving though anymore. I've decided.
You don't like driving?
No, I've decided. I wanted to give up my license, but I'm not allowed.
Why would you want to give up your license?
So that I don't have to drive.
Do you just like? Are you just a nervous driver?
No, I'm not nervous at all. I'm an angry driver.
Oh.
Like
you just get mad?
No, and I just don't like driving. I'd rather, but like, I mean, to get to like one of my like best friends' places, that's like Maple Ridge, and then I have to go to Mission to get to my other one. So it's pretty far.
Yeah.
But
well, I think I'm more of a.
But I could just take a plane there.
Driver.
A helicopter, rent a helicopter.
Or take that fishing boat that you talked about last episode.
Yeah, I'm definitely though not a nervous driver. I hate traffic. It gets me in a very bad mood when I get
a ticket or anything.
Yeah. like a speeding ticket.
Oh my god. You got a speeding ticket. How many? Just one.
I have one speeding ticket, and then I also got this ticket. I was leaving the mall, but there was a sign that I didn't read that said no, like, right turn on a red light. And so I, like,
And you
came to,
turned
like, a
right.
full stop, and then
You
turned right, yeah. And then I ended up getting pulled over. My friend was in the car, and we, like, had no idea why. Like, we couldn't figure it out. And so he came up to the window, and he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And I'm like, no. And he's like, do you see that sign over there? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then he looked at my license, and he saw that I'm, like, from Maple Ridge. And so he's like, and this was in Coquitlam. And he's like, oh, you guys don't even have these kinds of signs out there. So he just gave me a warning.
Just, like, let it slide.
Yeah.
I've never driven in Toronto, but there's so many intersections where you can't turn left or you can't turn right. Like, you have to go straight through.
Yeah. That's, like, downtown Vancouver, too.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Just turn.
And the bike lanes, too. I feel like I'd be so nervous driving in Toronto because of the bike lanes.
The bike lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, drivers are angry here, though.
Yeah.
They're very angry.
I
Back
think
home,
you
they
kinda
don't.
have to
Everywhere,
be.
everyone just honks here.
Yeah.
They're not very
Everyone
nice.
does honk here.
Back home, we don't really honk.
No?
No.
The biggest thing back to COVID in high school is prom and grad. We definitely had different experiences there. So my prom, we didn't have one. Obviously, there was nothing put together by the school.
Rip.
So me and my friends, we had a prom in one of my friend's backyard, and there was like 10 of us. And we bought the decorations for it. We bought a cake for it. We ordered, dresses online to sort of make the
Did you
best
guys
of
have the
experience.
father-daughter dance?
We did not have the father-daughter dance. There was no parents at our prom.
Wow. That's so lame.
And it was good. Like, I look back and it was a good time. It was a good night. And in the moment, we made the best of the experience. But my little brother just graduated high school last spring.
Baby Beckett?
And middle Beckett.
Oh.
Not the smallest one. But I dropped him off at his prom. And it was just sort of like, it was almost sad because...
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
You didn't
but it
go
was
to the grad?
I went to I'm talking about his prom.
Oh, like where... Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I dropped him off at his prom.
Oh.
And it was just
We
like
called
seeing
that
everyone
grad too.
And their...
We
was
didn't-
it one thing for you guys?
Well, we had, like, grad, like, all the stuff. Like, so... like where you wear the dresses and everything.
Yeah,
We just called that grad.
Oh, yeah.
And then we do the dinner and then the dance and whatever. And then we went back to school and then we had like a thing that went all the way till 7 o'clock in the morning.
So it was one day.
It was one day. But then
Oh.
like where you walked the stage, that was a different day.
That was a different day. So yeah, we called it prom, and then grad is where we walk the stage and get
Oh.
our diploma. But when I was dropping my brother off at prom, it was just like so, I don't know, emotional, I guess, because we didn't get that. We didn't get closure at all. There was no closure. Like, it was just one day we were online and that was it.
You could go talk to someone about not getting closure.
Oh my god. Anyways,
There's people to talk to.
talk to you.
I guess if you must.
If I must. And then grad was also a big one too. So we had a drive-through grad, and basically
That's where you got your diploma.
that's where we got our diploma. So basically, we had to pick a time slot, a 5-minute time slot from, I think it was like 12 p.m. to.
Did you get to shake the person's hand?
No,
Or
we
did you
didn't.
have to stand far,
We
far
had
away?
to stand far away. So we picked a time slot.
We'll throw it
5-minute
to you
time
on the
slot.
ground and you can come and run and grab it.
Fetch.
How far can we get this diploma?
I know. And
Frisbee it.
so I think mine was like at 3 o'clock, and you drove through the bus loop. You got out of your car. Your parents weren't allowed to get out of the car. You had to have one car too. So parents with kids with divorced parents had to get into one car. Like, it was a disaster. So we got out
Fighting
of the car.
parents.
Yeah, we walked up this like red carpet. We took a photo with our diploma, and then we went into the school where there was a photographer. Which the photographer that we had was so rude. Like, she was not nice at all. And we got another photo taken inside, and then we walked out, and that was it. And then we were in the parking lot, and then we got back in our car and drove off.
Mine wasn't like that.
Yeah, it was like all of 5 minutes, and my biggest regret too is one of my best friends, we didn't even get a grad photo together because she worked the night of grad. So she booked an early time slot at like noon or whatever it was, and mine was at 3. So we didn't even get a grad photo together or a prom photo because she went to a different prom with her boyfriend.
Then were you really best friends, Emma?
Yes, we really are best friends. And I've known her since grade 4, so we have a grade 8 grad photo. And
I mean, you could just put them together, like crop
Yeah.
2 photos and put them together, pretend like
could
you're
do
there.
that too.
You do know how to do
Yeah.
some, like,
I do know how to do some Photoshop.
yeah.
I
You have
could
learned
probably
about
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, just kind of sad that we didn't get to say sort of
Oh.
goodbye to a lot of people, you know.
Cheers.
Cheers. But
I got to say goodbye.
you got to say goodbye. Was
Yeah.
it worth saying goodbye? Or could you?
Yeah.
Could you have
Ours was
gone?
fun. Ours was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grad or I guess
Grad was fun.
Yeah.
And then like our walking the stage, that was our actual last day, or it was the second to last day of high school.
Yeah.
So we went in like after school or the next day, and then that's when I wrote my last exam. But yeah, when we walked the stage, when I gave my speech.
Oh yeah, your valedictorian speech.
My valedictorian
You sang
speech.
in your valedictorian.
I did.
speech.
Well, I was actually a
I
co-valedictorian.
think we should maybe plop this in here.
Yeah, my singing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was co-valedictorian. My friend
Yeah.
and I, we started. So like, you had 2 weeks to like get your name in
Yeah.
to like do this, and so my friend and I, we started we're like, should we do it? Should we not do it? And we're like, okay, like let's write. Because you had to have 2 minutes to do in front of the school.
Yeah.
We also had to be approved by the teachers before you go and do it in front of the school.
Yeah, obviously.
And so we had 2 minutes. We did it. We were like smart about it. We like hit 4 different groups.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, let's do this. So it's the day before you go and like read it in front of the school. And they'd already done like who got to like they'd already like decided who was gonna be like the groups that were
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
or
yeah.
the single people. So we went and asked, we like chased down Miss Walton and we're like, tail between our legs, we're like, so we want to go for valedictorian. And she's like, the meeting was yesterday. We're like, we know.
But you got it.
She's like, okay. So she's like, I'll ask them, but like, she made it sound like it was probably going to be a no.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they read out like on the announcements or whatever, who's going to be who's like running for the speech.
Mhm.
And we were like, oh, thank God. So yeah, we did our 2 minutes. Then we got voted in and then they chose 3 groups. So then we went and read the
And
speech
read it again.
to the teachers.
Yeah.
And then it was me and Meg.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who our valedictorian was. Like,
we
seriously.
all, yeah.
Me and my friend were trying to think about it the other day. We were like, who was our valedictorian? I can't even remember because there was no ceremony. So we had part of our grad, actually, it was a YouTube video. So they put together a YouTube video that we were to watch from home, and it had our photo and, like, what we were doing next year.
Yeah. That's kind of like how it
That
was
was
when
it.
I graduated BCIT.
Yeah, it
They
was
had,
all
but
online.
it was like more so just names. It didn't really, but
Yeah.
like,
So I'm
Yeah, we-
sure there was a speech, but there was like 5 different videos. So it was like,
you
was
got to go
like-
back and find the video.
I know there was like A to N or whatever it was, and then it kept going. So I don't even think I watched the valedictorian speech. Like I don't,
Wow.
because it was so.
Everyone
I
was
don't know.
forced to watch mine.
I watched my video, like my section where my name was in, and then that was it. I got my 10 seconds of fame, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone.
Emma has earned her OSSD,
What is that?
Ontario Secondary School Diploma.
Oh.
What
Congratulations.
is yours?
I don't know. It's just a diploma.
British Columbia Secondary School Diploma.
No, it was SRT was
Oh.
my diploma. That was my Samuel Robertson Technical.
Oh. Is this for radio, though?
Oh no, radio. That was I
Okay,
got
yeah.
broadcasting communications
Okay.
diploma with distinction.
With
because
distinction. Super smart.
yeah, apparently.
Well, we're almost at our limit here for time. I wish we could keep talking, but
Do you?
I think Riley's fed up with hearing my band experiences.
No, I love hearing about her band experiences. How she got to be a pop star.
I'm gonna pull up some of my marching band videos. Marching band, I didn't talk about this, but that was also the best time of my life. So much fun.
Boom, boom, boom.
I
Was
played
that
the
at school
quad.
too?
Yeah, I paid the quad. It was £40, but I
Wow.
wish I could have.
She got
done
some
it one more
strong
year, but
shoulders,
COVID
strong
had some
back.
other plans. Yeah, seriously. Toronto Play
Maybe
Parade
you
was
could
3 hours.
join the Ryers or Toronto Metropolitan University.
I don't even think we have a marching band.
Well, you could make it.
I could make it. Yeah.
I'll watch. I'll cheer you on
No,
from
I
the
think you should
side.
be in it. Play the cymbals,
Oh, that would be good. Or the triangle.
but not right now.
Oh, yeah. I could play the triangle now. I could hold it between my fingers.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for Conflicted Chaos, episode 2.
How fun.
How much fun. It was so much fun.
I had a blast.
Me too. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.